my background. Speaking of hospitals, about 25 years ago. So, by the way, that was about the last time I was in a hospital. It was 25 years ago. And I had broken my nose, and I went to Herman Hospital. At that time, it wasn't Herman Memorial, it was Herman. And the admitting clerk, she's typing it in, and she said, "Sir, have you ever been in our hospital before?" I said, "No, I've never been in your hospital before." And she says, "Well, our records show you have been a patient here before." And I said, "No, I've never been here before. I don't like hospitals. I don't like doctors. I don't go to hospitals." And she said, "Well, our records show that on March 21st, 1950, you were a patient here." And I thought, let's see, that was the day I was born. Yeah, you're right. I was born in this hospital, all right? You just didn't realize you're a patient when you were born in the hospital. Right? So I've been here since 1950. So I've been here quite a while here in Houston. My parents were born and raised here. My dad's 83 now. My grandparents showed up here in Houston in 1907. So we've got more than 100 years here. My family does over 100 years in Houston. Was born and raised in the southeast part of town, 79th and Harrisburg, over in what we call the Barrio Magnolia, and went to elementary school there, junior high school there, went to Milby High School, graduated in 1968, over in southeast Houston, went in the Marine Corps right out of high school, and got out in 1970 as an enlisted Marine. Went back to school and got my degree at the University of Houston in behavioral psychology. In '73, I went back in the Marine Corps and Officer Candidate School in Quantico, Virginia. Ended up getting accepted for flight school, and I ended up flying jets, and I got to learn how to fly jets off of aircraft carriers. So that was one of the things that I was able to do. And so I was flying jets for 6 years. By the way, how many of you have seen the movie Top Gun? So if you've seen the movie Top Gun, that's what I was doing for a living. I tell people I'm the Mexican version of Tom Cruise, but better looking, all right? So had a great time doing that. But my wife didn't like family separations. I was away from home all the time. So in 1979, we made the decision to get out of the Marine Corps. And I couldn't get on with the airlines. They were laying off people at the time. So I got a job as a stockbroker trainee with Merrill Lynch and then with Lehman Brothers. And did extremely well in that business. By my second year, I was already in the top 5% of all brokers in the country. And so I was asked to start teaching people how to become successful in sales. That's when you're dealing with a stockbroker, you're not dealing with somebody who knows how to make money. You got to understand that right now. You're dealing with somebody who's been taught how to sell, okay? So I got very good in sales. I was in the top 5% of all brokers in the country, and I was asked to start teaching others how to do the same thing. Now, it took me years to figure out how you actually make money in the markets, and that's another whole story. But in 1986, I started my own business, actually 85, December of 85, going on and becoming a motivational speaker, a professional speaker and trainer and consultant. And doing motivational talks. I do leadership development, team building, sales training, and safety, behavioral safety training. I work with companies like Exxon, Intel, Shell, DuPont, Kellogg Brown and Root, Bank of America, UBS Painter, Prudential Insurance, and a variety of big companies, also small companies as well. And I travel all over the world, speaking at conferences and conventions, or working internally with companies on improving performance, getting better. Now, but here's what happened. When I started in 85 in this business, I'd go work with a CEO of a company, let's say in Philadelphia or Little Rock, Arkansas, and I'm working with these CEOs and senior executives at a large company, billion-dollar company. And one of the things that when they found out I was a former stockbroker and commodities broker, guess what the conversations turned to then? Mm-hmm. So in other words, even though I left the brokerage business, I was still being asked to provide a lot of information. And this class that you're attending today, I started teaching this class back in the late 80s. So I've been teaching here at Leisure Learning. Actually, the first class I taught here was actually in 1987. So I've been an instructor here since 87. Teaching a variety of different classes here. So I'm going to show you some things today that's going to set you apart from all investors out there. And my number one point that I want to make to you today is nobody cares more about your money than you do. So guess who I suggest becomes your financial advisor? You. So that's what I'm going to try to teach you today is how do I become my own financial advisor? how do I start managing my own investments and start making money consistently every month? And that's what you want to learn how to do. And that's what I'm going to share with you today, okay? So we're going to be looking at some charts, so make sure that you're in a position to see these charts when I put them up here later on. We're not going to do that until the second hour. And because I am hurting, we'll take a break at every hour, okay? So we will take about a 10-minute break every hour, okay?
I'm sorry I brought
That's
the
all right.
latest money.
So what we want to do here is I'm going to ask you a series of questions. So you're going to participate. It's not just all about me being up here. You're going to participate somewhat. And I want to ask you a question. Why do you think, and being in this business, I opened my first trading account in 1971. That's how long I've been trading in the markets. I became a broker in '79, so as a professional, have been doing it for a long time. My experience has been that very few people make money in the stock market or commodities markets or the FOREX markets, the options markets. Almost nobody makes money. So the question I ask you is, why do very few people make money? What would you guess is the reason?
They don't know what they're doing.
You don't know how? What was that?
They don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. So where do most people get their advice on what to do? You know, friends, television,
Mad money.
no, mad money, booyah, you know. That's entertainment, folks. That's what you're paying for, is entertainment, okay? So what the reason is that most people don't, there's a variety of reasons why that doesn't happen, but the vast majority of people, when they come to me and they say, I've lost money in the markets, the first thing I ask them is, what was your plan? Okay? What's your plan? What do you think I hear?
I didn't have one.
Didn't have it. Well, how do you expect to make money if you have no plan?
So he dealt with a broker, right, and he's wondering why he's broker.
Well, and you know, here's what I will tell you. If a broker, you got to put up with a lot of mess when you're a stockbroker. You got to sell the products the company wants you to sell, and many times you don't believe in them. You've got to meet quota. You got to do all kinds of things. So, you know what I tell people? If somebody really knew how to make money in the markets, they wouldn't be a broker, okay? Because you wouldn't want to put up with all the stuff just to be able to make money. So, because you got to put up with too much stuff in that business. So, my experience has been that the vast majority of people do not have a plan. No plan. And because they have no plan, guess what? Even in roaring bull markets, up markets, guess what happens? They don't make any money. Why?
They don't know when to sell.
Because they never get out. And so people ride the markets up, and then they ride them down. And then they ride them up, and then they write them down. Unfortunately, guess when they need the money?
When it's
down. That's when you need the money, okay? So without a plan, you're dead, okay? You gotta have a plan. So today you're gonna learn how to develop a strategic investment plan, all right? How do I put together a strategic investment plan so that I have at least a game plan, an idea of what I'm gonna be doing and how I'm gonna be doing it. So you're also, by the way, the other reason that most people don't make money is bad information. You're going to your brother-in-law and your sister-in-law, or you're going to your neighbors, you're going to your friends, and they're telling you what to buy, and they're not making any money either. So you're getting bad information. And then you're looking for professionals to give you advice, and unfortunately, most of the professionals out there, they're not making money either. So who do you trust? You know, how do you learn to do some things? So who are you going to trust in this game? And so my promise to you today is the only one you can trust in this room is you. And so I'm going to teach you how to start learning to trust you. So you want to trust you. You want to prove to yourself that you can make money consistently every month, okay? That's what you want to prove to yourself, not to me, but you got to have your plan set up. You got to know what you're doing, and then you got to practice, and then you can prove to yourself that yes, I can do this consistently. I can make money. All right. So the vast majority of people do not make money because they have no plan and they got bad information, real bad information. I'm going to show you a couple of things here, just to give you an idea. There's a, you know, you think, and I'm not going to mention names since we're being videotaped here. But here's a lady that's PhD, best-selling author. You know, she's by the way, Pacifica University, talks about how to have great love, marriage, sex, and relationships. You know how many times she's been married and divorced? 6 times, okay? She's an expert on how you can have great relationships, all right? So people say they're expert at things, but you know what? You got to start thinking about, are they really? This is right out of the Houston Chronicle. Here's a guy that promotes, by the way, this lady and this guy come out on Oprah Winfrey, Larry King Live. They come out on all the popular programs as experts, all right? This particular gentleman, and you can look at it during the break, wrote a book on how to make money on Wall Street, and it was the bestseller for about 5 years. And his 2-day seminar to teach you how to make money on Wall Street cost $6,000, all right? The state attorney general at that time was Dan Morales, and he said, we think he's misleading people, and they said, we want to subpoena his own trading accounts to see how well he does in his own account, all right? And they found out he's never made money in the stock market before. Comes out on Larry King Live, comes out on Oprah, telling people how good he is. So my point is this, you can't trust anybody. You know why? Because they probably don't know any more than you do. And so you're giving people credit thinking they know something when they really don't. So the only person when you walk out the door today, the only person that I want you to really trust is you. But you're gonna have to start building that trust and practicing. So today, you're gonna start your strategic investment plan, or one. I'm gonna show you one. There are many that we can set up if I'm working with you. There are many that we can set up, but I'm gonna show you at least one so that you know there is a way to plan things so that you go out there and make money.